Well, we're back. Okay, technically we never left, but I got some front wheelers out here. A couple Cobalts, Sonic. I don't know if you can tell or not, but lots and lots, lots of pollen. It's that time of year. But yes, back making videos. It's been a while, but honestly, not much has changed. Still have these two. Haven't done anything with them yet. Well, I shouldn't say haven't done anything. Haven't done anything since probably whatever that last video was. And just a brief recap. 09 Cobalt SS. 08 Cobalt SS. On the 09, I've had this thing forever. It's got hail damage. Probably can't tell too much on the video. So much pollen everywhere. Believe it or not, it rained last night, but it's just so much pollen that this is from one day and some sprinkles today. But anyway, a few mods to this one, but unfortunately got hail damage years back and I just kind of driving as is. So in turn last year I bought this one initially thinking take all the goodies on this, put it on here, have a cool street car. Ultimately didn't work out that way. This thing was not as clean as it looks, probably even on the video. So now we're switching it up. We're taking a few good pieces off this car, putting it on this car, and we're just going to live with the condition of this, what it is. Maybe try to get some of the dents out. I don't know. But anyway, so what I'm doing now, or what I just started, is removing, or I wanted to see if I could remove, you can sort of see it on the video, but took off the Chevy bow tie badge and all the labeling here. For the most part, came out pretty well. This still is very dirty. There is a little bit of just wear that maybe I could polish out. There's up here, that's a chip. But up here there was the previous auto dealer, whoever person bought this from years ago. Little side tip, if you have one of those plate things that have your dealer's info or a sticker, take it off. It's just free advertising for them, and there's really no point. But anyway, oh, down here, this is the stuff I took off. Somebody painted it black. It looked okay. And by the way, best way to take it off, yeah, use some dental floss. And of course you want to go with the mints, because you could use regular, but you want that little extra smell, so when you're scraping off with your nail you get that little bit of mint. Just makes it that much better. But I just ultimately, this is, I'm sure most people know, I heat it up and then I just take the dental floss to get the logos off or whatever taken off, and you're still left with the sticky stuff. But you can then take your time and get that off with a variety of methods. I typically heat it up. I also have this stuff. This stuff works pretty well. It says use on cool, dry paint. Of course, I use it on hot, wet paint, but you know, it works great. So, and an old Harbor Freight. I've had this thing forever. Harbor Freight heat gun that, by the way, has wires touching, which is, you know, perfectly fine. But anyway, just rambling here. I haven't done videos in a while. So, cleaning up the 08 Cobalt. I'm going to remove the trunk and the hood, put it on this car. They are not perfect, but they're better than the hail damage stuff. So that's just one thing I want to do for now. Later, the drivetrain out of this is going to go in the race car. And then this will be my cruiser for a while and see what happens. Oh yeah, snowmobile. It's late spring, almost summer in the Rockies, but you know, we have snowmobiles, and wearing a sweatshirt because crazy weather. But anyway, so let me finish cleaning this up. I'm going to take the trunk off and go from there. All right, well, I got as much as I could off, or at least got all the sticky portion off, but definitely still, I don't know how well you can see on the camera, but there's a little bit left. I think I probably just polished that out. The good news, the paint looks good, so I think this trunk will be an improvement to the other trunk. And yeah, so it's just looking like how they're mounted. Looks like you got 2 bolts down here, 2 nuts here. Thinking this is probably easier, just to take these 2 off, assuming it comes off that easy. But as far as the other trunk, just as a refresher over here, the reason I'm getting rid of this one, this is in some ways actually in better shape, but the wing was damaged from the hail many years ago, so I took it off, and they don't really make it very easy to, you know, replace this. Not replace it, but live with this. You'd have to actually just get a different trunk, which I could do, and I kind of like the no wing look, but there is a couple hail dents in there. Also, I had taken this off years ago, and behind this it's all marred up. The previous owner did a really bad job of removing that. Actually, look like there's a tiny dent right there, just looking at the reflection. But anyway, so yeah, not the most exciting thing at the moment, but we're just trying to fix these cars up. Well, let me phrase that: fix this car up, take all the good parts off this car, and go from there. But yeah, lots of plans, lots of things to do. This is not necessarily one of the big tasks. I just frankly wanted to shoot something and get back and making videos. So okay, so there's a couple extra things you do have to take apart or take off before you can take the trunk. But first thing is this mat. If you're actually trying to salvage this, I recommend a tool like this, because they're much easier to work with if you're trying to pull these little pin things off. I have a kit here I bought on probably Amazon or something a couple years back. Rarely have used it except for that tool, and also one of these little pry tools here just to pop off some of those button pin things, whatever. So get that off. Then unfortunately there's the wiring harness doesn't have a plug, at least what I can feel in here, so you do have to take it off. It's just the 2 backup lights, the 3rd brake light, and then I think it's the trunk release here. This one's a bit of a pain. It's up in here, and of course I managed to really mess up the plug, but hey, still works. But anyway, 210 mils here and here, and we'll have it off. So yeah, stick it on the other car and we'll be done. All right, it's out. It actually wasn't too bad. I did remove the trunk, what do you call them, struts or whatever, just because the bolts, this bolt was just kind of in the way, so it makes it a little bit easier. But one last thing I kind of forgot about, but fortunately it's pretty simple. Over here, we're looking at the trunk backside here, top's over here. The lock mechanism. So I would have probably initially forgot, but I wanted to swap these out, so I have obviously keys that work in the right car. It's actually pretty simple. There's just this, I don't know what you call it, little bracket plate thing. It's hiding down there. Just grab with pliers and pull it, and it pops right out, and the lock falls out. So yeah, this is off. No trunk over here. We just gotta swap it out and put a trunk over here. So this one took, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes to get off, and the other one took about 5. But that's what you get when you've done this twice. It's a lot easier the second time. But oh, I guess I lied. I guess technically I did buy a car. Got a new RC car. Ooh, color's pretty bad, but yeah, gonna try one of these, see how it goes. Oh look, race engine sitting all dusty. Sad. But anyway, so yeah, the second one was way easier. Learned a few things you don't have to take off, and just in general a lot quicker, a lot easier. So technically this is probably paint wise in better condition, but between the hail damage, the wing issue, Technically the bow tie behind that all messed up. We're doing the swap. So here it is. Swap this out and we're done. Okay, so here's both the trunk lids, and don't look much different, but definitely gonna like having a sealed top on the car, because I used to put tape on there and it never lasted. But anyway, kind of a crazy discovery. When I took this one off, it seemed a lot heavier, but I didn't know. This is the first one I took off. Then I take this one off and it's way lighter. This is crazy. That wing is full of water. I don't know how. Is there a crack? Is it seeping through? I don't know what it's doing. So I'm going to put this back on the chair over there and maybe drill a couple holes in the bottom and see what comes out. And maybe it's a drain, but yeah, we're doing the water wing mod, apparently. It's crazy. All right, I drilled a couple holes. I shine light on it here. Can you kind of see it? Yeah, I guess you can see it. Drilled a small hole there, another small hole here, and that, sorry for the light, but that went right into the bottom of the base of the wing. So technically I drilled a hole through my new trunk, whatever, but I don't know. Let's see if water comes out of this thing, because this is just weird. Well, it wouldn't be a BPE project if I wasn't finishing in the darkness, so we got all our usual lights out here. But this is the old hood, I don't know what, the wingless hood, whatever you want to call it, on the 08 Cobalt. It's pretty easy putting back on. I just aligned, this is actually not perfect, I don't know if you can tell, but just aligned the bolts, or the nuts and washer, I guess technically, based on the paint markings. Sorry for the darkness over here. I think it should open and close easy. I'm not going to attach this until I really need to. I was debating about not hooking up any of this stuff, but I went ahead and hooked it all up, so all the electronics are hooked back up. So technically this car will be back working. But let's see here. Well, that looks good. That looks good. All right, let's just wing it. Perfect. Or good enough for, sorry for the light, good enough for mid-2000s, late 2000s GM. Actually looks pretty darn good. I'm talking about the seam here. So anyway, that car's done, at least done for now. Put another layer of tape on the old trunk lid and good to go with that beater. But over here, yes, confirmed. It was leaking, or it was full of water. I think it's done now, but I got water all over me, and yeah, I have no idea why, no idea how. Maybe, well, I'm just guessing it's not quite perfectly sealed around the trunk lid there, and over many years it filled with water and somehow never drained. But yeah, it is a water wing, so I think I got pretty much all of it out now, or as much as I can out. So I'm going to put this one on the other car, and hopefully we're good to go for a while. Okay, trunk lid number 2 is done. I didn't put on the little trim, whatever you call it, piece in here. I don't know if it's a sound deadening or whatever it is, because I just want to check and make sure all the electrical stuff works. I actually don't have a battery on this thing at the moment, so I can't quite check, but hooked up everything else. I already kind of, I'll be honest, I already put these on. I actually tried to adjust these screw bolts, whatever, that hold the hood on a little bit, because it doesn't quite align as nicely as the other car. But I mean, it still works, it's still good, but you'll see if you close it, this looks really good, lines up nice perfect seam, but there's a little bigger gap kind of over here, and I'll be honest, it probably was always there and I just never really noticed. So I tried taking the mounts and kind of shifting it over a little bit. It didn't do much. It may have done a tiny bit here, but at least it's relatively consistent. And hey, 2000s GM, you kind of get what you get. So anyway, look, the good car, or the cleaner car, sort of, Has a trunk lid with no hail damage and a wing. It's got the water wing on there. So you can kind of see in the light here, or maybe you can't, but you can see some of the logo stuff I still got to get off. But overall, pretty happy. And all important, it works fine. So we'll check and make sure the electrical stuff works, and we're done with this. Obviously it's dark out, and I'm not gonna, let me turn my headlamp thing off here, if I can figure it out. There we go. Sorry for the darkness, but yeah, we're getting there. Not obviously doing the hood swap now. It's a little late and a little dark. And of course, the one thing I noticed, or I thought about putting this on, is because it's dark and these are dirty, I can't exactly tell if the paint matches. I parked the cars next to each other a while back, and then when they're both clean, they looked like they matched. Obviously, you're dealing with age and sun fade and all that, so I guess I won't know until I clean them up, and or it rains or whatever, and kind of get a good test of how close we are. But hey, it's going to be better than it was before. So not the most exciting video probably, but hey, we're getting there. We're starting to do stuff. We're getting back into this. I have a lot of performance parts for these cars. Well, this car. I'm trying to remember what I have. Intake, charge pipes, intercooler. I have coilovers, rear sway bar. I don't know, probably other things I'm forgetting. So there's a few things I want to do to this, including obviously swap out the hood. Maybe I'll see if a local shop in town can get a couple of the dents out. Or not, dents or hail damage, whatever you want to call it, and we'll go from there. And then this one's eventually going to be robbed of all its good parts and just be a roller. We're going to put all that stuff in the race car. So it's kind of where we stand now. So anyway, we're getting back into it. But thanks for watching. See you in the next one.